Good morning, day 282, cooking down the refrigerator, freezer, and working pantry meals. So today is about the same as the last few days, cold and cloudy, so no outside work today. I'll be working around here in my house, doing some more easy chores, nothing heavy duty. I might try and do a 15-minute declutter. We'll see. There's other things that I need, just general housekeeping that really needs to be done. When I have a lot of garden work, the general housekeeping kind of takes a back seat. So with 3 dogs and lots of hair, sometimes you just gotta get that old vacuum cleaner out. So I did a lot of cooking yesterday. I don't have to do a lot of cooking today. I may throw some soup either in the Instant Pot or the slow cooker, because now I have nice veggie broth and I also have beans. So I'm thinking about a bean soup, and today would be a great day for that. I know some of you live out where it's still hot, so maybe soup isn't your thing right now, but we're having perfect weather for soup. So summer just kind of left and slammed the door. Out she went. And it was on the first day of fall, it was just, summer was gone. So, and the day before it had been in the mid-80s. So she had a last beautiful day and then she left. So I have to keep an eye on the weather so that I can bring my Meyer lemon tree in. I don't want it to get any frost. And then my beautiful geraniums, I want to keep those too. I had to cut that part of the video short because my friend from Florida was calling, and she lives around the Venice area, and I've been concerned about her and what's going on down there. And she's fine, but she's not in her home. Apparently, you know, she lives around the Naples area, Venice area, that's all the same area, and they are like pretty much underwater. And she had a beautiful home there in a beautiful community, and I really, you know, my prayers go out to the people that are just being devastated by this hurricane. But anyway, I had to get that call because I wanted to know that she was okay. So anyway, I still have my coffee. I hope you guys have your coffee too. And I'm going to put on, I think I'm going to do the slow cooker and make my soup. I'm going to use up my beans, and I'm going to use up my nice broth that I made, and have a couple days worth of soup. So more meals, little meals that I can cook ahead. I'm thinking maybe sometime in the future I might do a little bit of batch cooking. I have containers, and I have the little freezer now. So just to have some meals that I can just, homemade meals that I can just pull out of the freezer. But not right now, because right now I want to concentrate a little bit more on the decluttering. I'm going to order my declutter people again and start going through some of the rooms upstairs, because the downstairs I've pretty much decluttered. It's a little crooked here. There we go. So I'm doing one room at a time. In my dining room, I'm still debating, do I want to get rid of half my dishes and glassware and just keep half? If I could sell it, I would do it in a heartbeat. So I'm going to give that a try. But in the meantime, I don't want to drag all that stuff out of the cupboards and just have it sitting around. So I'll just take some pictures and put it maybe on Marketplace and see what happens, and just leave everything where it is for now. But that room's pretty much done. I have to still repot some plants. But today it doesn't seem quite as cold, but I'm going to concentrate on the house. I mean, I could go in 100 different directions, but I'm trying very hard not to do that because I naturally tend to do that. I'm like here and there and everywhere, because because it's like, oh, well, I should do that now, because it's like, or I'll forget about it. But there's always the handy dandy to-do list. So I just make a list of things, and then every day I kind of pick some chores that I want to get done. Some of them are simple, some of them are a little more complicated. And then I'm also doing my little bit of a meal planning here from things that I have in the fridge and in the freezer, and I'm only kind of doing a week at a time. So as I think of meals, I write it down so that all I have to do is come to my list and I don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. So that's been working out pretty well. So today's garbage day. I want to get some garbage out there too. I don't have a whole lot of garbage around the house. I try and keep my garbage very small because I think we all need to do our part to sort of not generate too much trash. So cutting back on your consumerism and things that, you know, plastic and I know I use plastic bags and things like that. That's the one thing I kind of do indulge in, because it's easier than having 100 different containers, and sometimes storing things in the plastic bags where you can store them flat takes up way less room than a container. So that's how I look at it. But like my green bags, I reuse those, I clean them, and then I reuse them. The little baggies that I use, you know, like the sandwich bags and things, I don't. I should, but I don't. Those I do throw away. But I don't use like a ton of them. You know, I use a reasonable amount. So, and another thing that I really don't want to live without are paper towels, because using just rags, having 3 dogs, that kind of grosses me out. I do use cleaning rags, you know, those I rewash and things like that. I save old rags. But cleaning up a dog mess and no. That's where I draw the line. That and toilet paper. You know, I'm not going to give up toilet paper, because that grosses me out too. I mean, if that's what you do, you know, take my hat off to you, but I kind of draw the line there. You know, that's as green as I'm going to get. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this morning. I'm going to finish my coffee and do some laundry and just kind of get caught up on a few things. All right, I will be back here in a little while and we'll see what's for breakfast. Let's make some soup in the slow cooker. All right, let's see what we have. Here is some of my lovely broth and my beans. So I'm going to put my beans in. It's going to be a bean soup. So, and these beans, of course, are already cooked. And I'll take one of these broths. Now, this broth is not seasoned yet, so I figured that way I can season it however I want when I actually go ahead and make the soup. Let's see. Oh, I have this, when I made my tomato sauce, I poured some of the tomato liquid in here so that the sauce would thicken faster. So I'm going to put that in my soup, and that's going to make quite a bit of broth. So I have this little tiny sprig of basil that I want to use up. So I'll put that in there. And then I have some veggies down here, which I'll get out in a minute. I need 2 hands for that. And what else? Oh, those are apples. So, you know what? I'm going to cut this up. I don't even know if it's good anymore. I'm thinking not. It's been in there for a very long time. It's a rutabaga, and it needs to go either in the composter, or if it's still salvageable, I'll put some in my soup. And, well, I'm going to see what veggies are going to go in there, and then if need be, I'll pull some of my veggies from the freezer. Okay, let's see. For breakfast this morning, I want to finish these couple slices of bread. I'm going to keep breakfast simple. I pulled out the other half of my Walmart bread to thaw. Let's see. Oh, I pulled out some more of my seitan when I got the bread out, so I think I'll have that because that needs to be eaten up too. And I don't know, maybe I've got 1 or 2 of these left that need to be eaten, so I'll have that as well. All right, so, and then I have an orange that needs to be eaten. So, okay, I will meet you at the stove and we'll put some things together. Okay, heating up my coffee again. That's what I do. I don't chug-a-lug my coffee in the morning. It's a process. So cheers to you. So I'm going to sip on that while I do my soup. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and I had like 2.5 of these. One I'm going to freeze for another meal. And this one I'll use as soup. And then I'll probably have enough here that I'm going to end up freezing some of the soup too. So there's that, and here is the tomato juice, I guess you'd call it. So that's going in. And this is going to be a tomatoey beanie soup. I never follow a recipe for soup because it's so versatile. I'm going to put in this sprig of basil just to get rid of it. And now I'm going to put my beans in there, and I'm going to put the liquid and everything in there because I like the liquid. So if any of you have a reason why I should not consume the liquid, let me know in the comments below, because I'm not aware of anything other than it might, make me gassy. But hey, I live alone, so it doesn't matter. Well, my grandson's here, but he's in his little basement apartment. So sometimes what I do is I will heat this up in the microwave for a few minutes so it doesn't have to warm up from the beginning. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and then I'm going to decide what veggies that I want to put in here while that's happening. Okay, well, I heated up my soup mix and it's already starting to bubble. So these are all the veggies that I'm going to put in there. I have a sweet potato that I got from my Flash Foods. Want to eat that up. Regular potato, that was regular price. Carrots, or celery, carrots. I have some corn here that needs to be eaten. But what I did with that, I had some celery or some peppers and onions in the freezer, and I took some of the corn and I microwaved that too, so I don't cool off my broth too much. The rest of this is going back in the freezer. I'm going to put some green beans in. And then here what I'm doing, I had some baby carrots left over, and I took some of the peas and some of the corn, and I'm just making a combination, and this is going back in the freezer for a different meal if I want mixed vegetables or something. That'll work out great, and I'll have less bags in the freezer. So I'm just going to stick this all in my slow cooker now, including my veggies there with the liquid, and then I need to season my soup, and I'll come back with the seasonings in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to season my broth because there's no seasoning in there. A little bit in the bean broth, but not much. So I have this pork flavor broth mix that I got at the Asian store, and this is artificial flavored pork, so I think it's okay to use if you're vegetarian. But, you know, do your own research and make sure. So I'm going to put in, it's a big pot of soup. So I'm going to start with a couple of tablespoons of it. I'll probably put more in. I don't know. I was going to use this, but I'm not. I'm just going to use the pork flavor. So this is seasoning for all the things. I would get this again. It's pretty tasty. And this is salty too, so I'm going to put a couple teaspoons of that in. So there we go. So this is about 2.5 quarts of soup plus all the veggies. So, all right. Then I've got a little bit of coriander here. I'm going to put like half a teaspoon of that in there. I don't cook too much with coriander. Okay, and then I have here some cumin. And I like cumin, so I'm going to put a good hefty teaspoon of that in, and some paprika. Not too much paprika. Maybe a little bit less than a teaspoon. So that's going to be my dry seasonings. And then of course I'm going to taste my soup and see if that's enough. If not, then I'll add some more pork flavor broth. And then I also want to add, I'm trying to use this up, it's garlic oil, and it's really garlicky, but I'm going to put a little bit of that in there just because of the mouthfeel, because there's no fat in there. And I'm going to put some liquid smoke. So this will be like a smoky, porky, beany kind of soup. So I'm going to use the garlic oil instead of the olive oil, just so I can use it up. So I'm going to put all that, I'm going to put like, oh, not much, like maybe a teaspoon, just a little bit. And then of the liquid smoke, I'm going to put a teaspoon of that in. So, okay, that's pretty much it for my soup. And taste your soup if you like it saltier. Oh, and pepper. I'm going to put fresh ground pepper in there too. So, a good amount. All right, so there is my soup mix. And if it still needs more salt, I'll also add some seasoned salt. But I'm going to hold off on that. All right, well, I'll be back, put all this stuff away, and I'll be back with my breakfast. Okay, I melted that cheese in the microwave for 30 seconds. I figured you can do that with brie, so I tried it with this. And it seems to be nice because I don't like it as a wedge. It's too hard. So I thought I would try this and, you know, use it like a brie cheese that's melted. So I only have one more square of that, or triangle of that left. And I do want to use it up because it was expensive. I wanted to try it, and I thought it was way overpriced, like a lot of these vegan and vegetarian things are, because they're specialty foods. I don't know what's so special about it, but, you know, it's supply and demand. So I thought I'd give this a try and see if that works. I put too much on one and not enough on the other. But we'll fix that. So I really am trying very hard to use up my pantry, my freezer, my refrigerator food, and have very little food waste. Now, I didn't always cook like this. I wasn't always this conscientious about it. Not that I was wasteful. I wasn't wasteful. But I've really gotten more and more into this, you know, cooking from scratch. I used to eat fast food sometimes, not very often. But, you know, I would, every week or so, I would stop at McDonald's and have a fish sandwich, or I used to like the Quarter Pounders with cheese and fries. I used to love McDonald's fries. And I even used to eat them when I went vegetarian, but then I found out that they coat them in beef fat. So I haven't eaten those in a long time. It's like, yeah, why do you have to ruin it? But I guess the beef fat gives it a different flavor. And that's probably why they taste good. People like fat. So anyway, I wish they'd make a vegetarian version, but they won't. And our McDonald's around here doesn't even have a vegetarian option. I know some places like, I think California and some other countries, they do. But ours doesn't even have a veggie burger. Ohio is a little bit slow out of the starting gate. There's a lot of really conservative people in Ohio, which is good. But, you know, it takes them a while to catch on. So, all right, I put some dill mustard on here, and I think I'm going to have my orange that I got from Markdown. I didn't eat it yesterday. So I'm just going to cut that up. I'll be back. All right, so here is my breakfast. Let me taste the bread and cheese, see if it's any good. It's good. And this is the seitan that I made a long time ago. I had made some pea salad, and it was just way too much. So what I ended up doing is I ground it up and added some vital wheat gluten to it and turned it into a luncheon loaf. And it actually turned out pretty well. So there's a lot of protein in here. You've got the pea protein and the vital wheat gluten. So if you make seitan, sometimes I'll use, if I have leftover hummus or, you know, anything that adds more protein that can be liquefied, you can add to your vital wheat gluten. So anyway, that way I don't have any food waste. All right, I'm going to eat my breakfast and then I'll be back later. The soup is cooking, smells really good, and it's going to make a lot of soup, so I'm going to end up freezing some of it to enjoy for several meals. So, all right, it's already time for dinner. I cut off a chunk of my Walmart bread and put some butter on it. And I have some kind of a cheese stuff here. I've had it so long I don't even know what it is. But I'm going to use it up. So I'm going to make like a cheesy, garlicky bread. So that's that. And then I'm going to have some of my soup. And I hope it's good. It looks good. I put a couple handfuls of elbow pasta in there too. So it's a very hearty soup. It's got potatoes and sweet potatoes and veggies, and so I think it'll be delicious. And it's a pretty good sized pot. So let me dish some up. I'm looking forward to eating this. So this is about as cheap a meal as you can get. And using up what you have. So I'm trying to use up all the veggies I have frozen in my kitchen freezer, because I still have some veggies at my mom's, and I just bought a few veggies. And like I said, I don't want to shop at all in October, so we'll see how that goes, because I just paid bills and it's like, oh my God, everything is so ridiculous expensive. You know, all the utility bills have gone up like crazy, and I don't know where this is going to stop. But anyway, here is my soup. So I think it's good. Let me give it a taste. Very tasty. So here I have some tea. I'm using up everything that I can think of to use up and not spend money. So this is the Tea Vive. I think it's the, it doesn't say, but it's the apple, and it's the apple Tea Vive one from Dollar Tree. And it's good. And I put some Torani syrup in there, different flavors. So that's going to be my beverage. I'm going to have my soup and this nice chunk of bread. Life is good. All right, I will be back in a little bit. I'm going to eat dinner. All right, well, I think I have done enough cooking up the veggies for a few days. So I have plenty to eat now that I don't have to cook, other than maybe cooking up some pasta or, you know, something along those lines. But actually, I still have some pasta in there. I still have some rice in there. Now I have the soup. I got 3 containers of soup. 2 of them I'm going to freeze, and 1 of them is enough for a couple meals. So I have plenty to eat. Didn't spend any more money than I had to. And I added up what I spent at Flash Foods this month, and it came to $34.74. Now, I did buy some things at Walmart. I don't remember what all I bought, but I didn't separate the food from the other things that I bought, so it makes it kind of difficult to keep track of what I actually spent on groceries. So, but like I said, this is for this month and next month. So, and on the 8th of October, I have a little gathering coming up that I'm going to be going to. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to take. You know, of course I asked, can I bring something? And she said, yeah, either a dessert or an appetizer. And I do not want to go out and buy anything. So I have all those lemons, and I found a very nice recipe for like a lemon loaf. That sounds really good. Plus, it's vegan. So I think I'm going to make that. And it won't cost me anything, and well, other than what I already have. You know, I don't need to go out and buy appetizer stuff or cake mix stuff. I'm just going to use what I have in my house. And even if I have any birthday gatherings here next month, I'm just going to use what I have. I'm going to get real creative, and that's just the way it has to be, because like I said, I paid bills today, and it's absolutely atrocious what they've gone up to. So, but I'm not going to despair. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to challenge myself and see how creative I can actually get. Because I don't want to get, first of all, I don't want to get a poor man's attitude. I don't want that at all. And secondly, I don't want a woe is me attitude either. So I still feel like I'm extremely fortunate to live where I live. And even though we're going through some tough times now, you know, this too shall pass. So hopefully sooner than later, but you know, in the meantime, since I had the foresight to gather things, whether that's clothing or food or even tchotchkes, I'm going to make use of it, because now is the time, you know. So I still plan on doing a little replenishing of the stockpile when I use up what I have. But I'm going to be using mainly shopping in my house for clothes, shopping in my house for food. If I'm bored with a room, I'm going to redo it with things that I already have. I just don't want to spend any more money. Now, every time you say that, something comes up. I know how that works. It's a Murphy's Law thing. So I know I have to get a new roof, and I have to get new windows, but the windows, even though they're ugly, it's not, they're not letting cold air in, and I'm not freezing because the windows are broken. They're just ugly because the seal is broken. So anyway, that's a thing for down the road. The roof needs to be looked at, and I'm going to see what happens. But it's not like I'm in panic mode. You know, I try and keep ahead of as many things as I can and try and have a little foresight on things. And hopefully you guys are doing okay too. I know some of you, if you're in Florida, oh my, you know, it's my friend was telling me how bad it is down there. You know, I was talking to my friend next door, and you know, she says, well, we have snowstorms, but you know, blah blah. And I said, you know, it doesn't matter where you live. It just doesn't matter. Anywhere in the world, a weather disaster can befall you. So please try and plan ahead, and hopefully you'll get through it. All right, so that's all I have for you today. I'm going to enjoy my cup of tea, and that's it for me this evening. And tomorrow will be another day. All right, my friends, I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.